Hello? Well, hello. It has been a while. We are going to get right into it today because it's been so long. So here are my natural nails in all of their glory. They need a little bit of a trim and some cuticle cleanup. As always, I am softening up the skin around my nails with my Hansen Instant Cuticle Remover. I'm pushing them back with the paddle side of my cuticle pusher tool, and I'm gently trimming the dead skin with my cuticle nippers. I was reminiscing while I was filming this and thinking about how many tubes of Hansen Instant Cuticle Remover I must have gone through over the last 10 years. That's how long I've been using this. Absolutely wild. I'm using the gentle side of my nail file and I'm removing the shine from the surface of my nails, wiping off the excess with a little bit of alcohol on a lint-free wipe and moving on to prep. I'm using my Moroven, is that how you pronounce it? Nail Dehydrator and acid-free primer duo again today. I don't think I mentioned this in my last video, but this acid-free primer has a very pungent odor in comparison to my Gelish one. It gets the job done and the set is a really good deal, but if you're sensitive to strong nail product odors, I would recommend the Gelish one. I am once again using my Saviland clear coffin shaped tips because I've really been loving them lately, and these days I don't even really need to size my tips to my natural nails anymore because I know my sizing off by heart, but I just do it for the purpose of the tutorial. My index and ring fingers are always the same size. And if you've been here a while, I sound like a broken record, but my thumb has a naturally squared cuticle area, so I'm just reshaping my tip to fit my thumb with a 180 grit file. I got a new Melody Susie lamp off of Amazon for $12.99. It comes with a user manual and a power cord. I wanted this one specifically because it is almost identical to my Gelish one that I've had since like 2015, and the Gelish lamp on its own is really hard to find and link outside the US, so I thought that I would hunt down a dupe for a fraction of the price. Both lamps are 6 watts, they're super lightweight, they have a power outlet in the back and an on and off button on top. The Melody Susie one has 2 built-in timers. You can press the button on top once for a 60-second cure time or twice for a 45-second cure time. I really like using this size lamp in my videos because it fits perfectly in frame and I don't have to constantly zoom in and out. Onto application, I'll be using my Aimeili Builder Base again today. I'm applying a thin coat to my natural nails and curing it for 45 seconds. If you're new here or you missed my last more in-depth video on this process, I would highly recommend checking it out before watching this one because it's a lot more detailed. Next, I'm chemically etching the inside of my tips with a little bit of acid-free primer before applying the builder base. I am placing the tip at my cuticle and gently applying pressure down the nail until I push out all of the air bubbles. I'm flash curing it in place and moving on to the next. I'm using the Gelish Touch LED lamp to flash cure today. Although my Amazon budget-friendly alternative is great, I prefer the Gelish one. And if you have no idea what I'm talking about, again, see my last video. I'll also have it linked for you in the description box. I think I need to start pulling my camera closer to me when filming these videos so that I'm not always disappearing out of frame at the bottom of the screen. I've been noticing that about myself. I'm always disappearing near the bottom and kicking myself when I'm editing, so I'd like to not do that anymore. But if you want to see a better angle of what I'm doing here, I would also suggest watching my testing the Gelish Touch LED light video because it's pretty much the same process and I filmed at 2 different angles so you get a better view. Once all my tips are on, I give them another full 45-second cure and then I move on to a little bit of filing and shaping. These tips are pretty perfect, so they don't require too much work, but I do like to remove the shine from the surface, and I like to smooth out the cuticle area to give it a more natural look with my e-file and my sanding band. Another thing I like to do is apply a little bit of acid-free primer to the cuticle area to further melt the edge into my natural nail. I have been wanting to use this gel polish combo on camera for so long. This is Sweet Whimsy by Kiara Sky. It is extremely sheer, so it takes a bit of patience to build it up, but it's like the most gorgeous cool toned pink shade, and I love a sheer cool toned pink shade. I think I ended up doing like 4 very thin coats of this to build it up to the right opacity, and I cured each coat for 45 seconds. Over top of Sweet Whimsy, I'm going to be applying a thin coat of Iceberg by Kiara Sky, which is a gorgeous multicolored holographic glitter shade. Like I said, this combo is to die for, and as always, the camera just does not do it justice. The one thing that kind of sucks about Iceberg in gel form is that it's a bit chunky upon application. You can kind of see what I mean in this close-up. The glitters are just raised, so after I cure, I can feel the texture of the glitters when I run my finger across my nail, so I'll have to encapsulate it with a coat of builder after I apply it to the rest of my nails. I also have Iceberg in dip powder form. I actually kind of want to redo this whole look using dip powder. Let me know if you'd be interested in that. To encapsulate Iceberg, I will be using my Aimeili Builder Base again, and I'm being pretty generous with it because I'll be buffing the surface after I cure, so I want to make sure that I have a pretty thick layer so that when I do buff, I don't buff away any of the glitters. The builder base is pretty sticky, so after curing it, I'm just wiping the inhibition layer with some alcohol on a lint-free wipe, and then I'm sharpening up the shape with a 180 grit file because it got a little bit lost under all of the layers of gel polish. And then I'm switching over to a buffing block and smoothing out the surface to get rid of those bumps. Looking much better. I was gonna finish off with the Aimeili non-wipe top coat, but when I do looks like this that have multiple layers of gel polish, I prefer the Kiara Sky non-wipe top coat because it's a very thin formula and a little bit goes a long way. So I'm applying a thin coat of that and curing in my LED lamp for 45 seconds. As a finishing touch, I'm just cleaning up under my nail and I'm sharpening up my C curve as it tends to get a little bit lost when I cap my free edges multiple times. I forget the name of the bit that I'm using here, but I will list it in the description box as per usual. Lastly, I am rehydrating the skin around my nails with my honey lemon salve and admiring the fruits of my labor. I messed around with the lighting so you could see just how gorgeous this look is, especially Iceberg. And what's cool about it is that it actually looks different in every setting. I just love simple, pretty looks like this. And like I said, I kind of want to replicate a variation of this using dip powder in a future video. Now, because I have been gone so long and you have been patiently waiting, I did want to include a little extra something in this video, so I'm also going to include the removal process for those of you who were asking in my last video. I got to enjoy these nails for just over 2 weeks, and removing them is no different than removing any other nail extension. First, you start off by trimming the length, filing off as much of the surface of the nail as you're comfortable with before reaching your natural nail. Of course, you don't want to file all the way down to your natural nail just in case, I don't know, you get all the way down there and you hurt yourself, but try to get close. You can do this either using an e-file or a hand file. A hand file will take longer, and I would suggest having a dust collector so it's not flying around and you're not breathing it in. You're gonna soak off the rest with acetone and cotton wrapped in foil, and you're gonna check on them periodically. I think I soaked mine for a total of 10 minutes, might have been 15, don't quite remember. And then I just gently scraped off the softened gel with the paddle side of my cuticle pusher tool. After removing the product, I always like to buff the surface of my nails with a buffing block just to get any little bits of stubborn product off. And then I wipe my nails clean and immediately smother them with cuticle oil to rehydrate them after subjecting them to acetone. This also softens up the cuticles so that I can push them back. After I push them back, I go off camera and I wash my hands with some warm soapy water. I dry them off and then I come back and I trim off any dry dead skin around my nails using my cuticle nippers. I also like to give my nails a little trim and finish off with my honey lemon salve. As you can see, my natural nails are damage free, they're nice and healthy. Removing is very easy if you're careful and you take your time with it. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this video and found it helpful. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Thank you guys very much for patiently waiting for another video. As always, everything that I used will be listed in the description box below. Oh, and I'm on TikTok. I'm not very active. I have no idea what the hell I'm doing on TikTok, but I'm trying to figure it out. As always, thank you guys very much for watching. Thank you for subscribing and staying subscribed, and I'll see you in my next one. Okay, love you, bye.